Hi, good afternoon. My name is Tom DeVinko. I'm running for mayor in the village of Washingtonville. I'm here today with Donna Jacaruso and Susan Walski. I was running as trustees in this year's election on March 21st. It will be a Tuesday between 12 and 9 at the Village Hall. We're here today because we just wanted to take a few moments to introduce ourselves to our residents and our business owners, to give you an idea of our vision of where we want to be within the next 2 years. So with that, we'll have a conversation about just any particular subject. But I think our priority overall, again, would be the zoning issues that are currently going on within the village and our concerns about how those meetings on the planning board side have been basically gag ordered so that there is no public comment during regular meetings and that there are no potential public hearing comments because there's no response when you do answer or ask a question. So
I think, we initially all got together at a big public hearing back in June. There were well over 100, maybe 150 people at that meeting. It was for the proposal on 61 East Main Street. So public notices went out, and there was a lot of angry, upset people at that meeting. And so when we realized the enormity of the proposal, at the end of the meeting, we had collected anyone that wanted to, sign, leave their name, phone number, email address, and that was the beginning of what now has become a group of over 800 residents. So based on that, we had formed a committee. There were 5 of us initially, Tom, myself, Sue, committee members, and this is how we began uniting to try to combat this proposal for the 28 apartment units and 56 parking spots on 61 East Main. I think my biggest concern there was that it's not zoned for multi-dwelling. It's an office residential zone, and here we are with this proposal that absolutely does not fit the landscape of East Main Street.
So, I can say for myself, I've lived here over 25 years, and there's no perfect government. It's all flawed to some extent because we're humans. But government is meant to be of the people, by the people, for the people. We have had a huge decrease over the years in public participation in the governments. I would like to, since we now in this modern era, we have social media available to us. We have robocalling available to us. We have a much better opportunity as governments to get in front of the people so we can serve them better. And I find it alarming and concerning that the groups are getting smaller and smaller. So I'd like to bring back getting people involved into the day-to-day governments so they can literally say they belong to that village.
And in order to do that, we need to allow them to be able to speak at meetings. The situation, especially with one of the boards right now, is we are no longer permitted to ask a question or speak at any of those meetings unless it's a public hearing specific to a certain project. That's very concerning to me.
And there are other things, if you walk through the village and take the time to actually look, that do make it look somewhat neglected. Our streets are in a terrible state of repair. One of the things I know that I would like to do is, besides a total street survey, so to speak, where we literally take somebody with a really low car and drive them so we can feel every single bump, is to create a 1-year, 3-year, and 5-year plan for road maintenance. So we're not in catch-up mode, we're in preservation mode. people who know me, and a little known fact about me is I actually come from a historical preservation background. And early in my life, I was a professional genealogist down in New York City. So to me, the past is very important. And actually, when I was shopping for a house, I told the realtor, don't show me anything built after 1950, you're wasting your time.
And the past is very important, and so is the future.
Right.
And based on that is the comprehensive plan that we are now in the middle of revising.
Right.
We are on that committee. It's a vision of what we want to see, we, the residents, want to see for the future of this village. So,
Yep. It's really important that this comprehensive plan does get done properly and obviously in sequence with redoing our zoning, because one can't be without the other. They need to be married. And we're struggling right now with our current planner, who is not going to be involved in the zoning portion of what needs to be done. So we have many concerns about that, and we're trying to alleviate that. Some of it right now, I would say, is falling on deaf ears because, again, we're not able to talk. If this administration gets in, and we're lucky enough to be voted in by our residents, that's one of the things that we will strongly take a look at and work with the other two folks that are on the board to make, again, this village the best it can be at the end of the day. We want to be planning correctly, we want everyone's input, and it'll be, again, something that there'll be multiple public hearings as we go through the process, not just one at the end of the process to say, here it is, folks, we're done. Because we could lose valuable information from the residents and business people as to what they think. And it happens every day. And I get stopped in the stores and somebody will say something, about anything, basketball, zoning, the roads, the police department, fire departments. Everyone who lives here loves it here and wants it to be the best. And it's positive criticisms that are going to get us through this, and it will take the integrity and openness of this government to be working with the people and remembering they elected us.
And so when we started this group called It Takes a Village, it started based on that 61 East Main Street proposal, but it didn't end there. So then, other things were brought to the table. And basically, this group grew in leaps and bounds, and the work is never ending. And for me, personally, I know we would like to see an extension of what we've been doing, the gains that we've made as a group moving forward, and carry that over into, hopefully, we end up getting elected.
So one thing I also always hear a lot, especially as I get more to my golden years and from our seniors, is that our taxes are difficult here in New York State. And having the privilege of living in a village also means the privilege of an additional tax.
Correct.
One of the things I personally think we need to investigate is how can we share more services? I'm big on something we call a cost-benefit analysis. So take, for example, our DPW, and they're a great group of guys who do phenomenal things. We also have the town of Blooming Grove that has a highway department. So does it make economic sense to maybe share some of those services? Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but I think it's something that needs to be explored.
Agreed. And just to mention that, my current position in local government is on the town board covering Ward 2 of Washingtonville. So I have the ability at this point to see both sides of, the pancake, more or less. And I couldn't agree more with Susan and Donna in the sense that, we, in this time, it's cheaper to do it together than individually. So if it comes down to the mechanics of fixing our police cars and our highway equipment and DPW equipment, if it's cheaper to have it done by a town garage, then why not? If there's agreements that we can have in place for using and borrowing equipment with the town, they're guys, depending on the project. I think it would be a positive. One of the things that I see, and we used to do in the past, if we had a water main break, we would make those repairs, our Department of Public Works. Now that water main break is farmed out to another contractor, and then that's an additional fee that we're getting. So I would like to see an agreement with the town that we would be able to share those resources, and if there is a water main break, a sewer main break, or whatever it is, infrastructure-wise, then we can do it together at a lower cost and make it a win-win situation.
I mean, if you stop cooperating, and I'm not saying there aren't cases that maybe we should stop, but go to our seniors, okay? The senior center serves the seniors in Washingtonville. We have 3 separate complexes for seniors, and most of them are on very limited income. So access to that senior center and those senior meals, for some of them, that may be their best meal of the week. And I certainly wouldn't want that to go away.
True, that's a really good point. And we're actually in the process of building a brand new facility for the seniors over at Lasser Park. A new dining facility, there'll be conference rooms, it'll be state of the art, and it'll be obviously there for mostly seniors, but some of the spaces, if they're available in the evenings, you know, if you have an organization, they could, you know, rent out a room or do something to that if something was needed. It's really important because at the end of the day, the town, we supply all the transportation, all the buses. We have the meals, you know, there's a ton of things that go on that not only from a senior perspective, but sharing the recreation. We have the ball fields.
Mays Field.
Field itself. So, and we're actually in the process over the last several years, we're trying to develop and are developing additional ball fields at Lasser Park because we know that there's a big need for that. So between field hockey and soccer and baseball and football, we're trying, we've been bringing in, and the highway department, you know, being led by Wayne, is doing a fantastic job in bringing in the materials to get this to happen. So I see it happening, and again, more shared services amongst us and other municipalities is a win-win.
And these are some of the conversations that we're having on the comprehensive committee currently. One of the things that comes up constantly is, you know, we have some great programs for the younger elementary age students. We really need programs for the older, more high school age youth. So that's something that we definitely would work on.
Yeah.
And we would need for that, I mean, listen, I haven't had teenagers in my house a long time. I think we need to hear from the parents. What do their kids need?
Right.
We need that conversation, and we're willing to listen.
We're willing to listen. It's
Yeah.
what the residents want. That's why we're doing this.
Correct.
That's our purpose.
Yeah, and that's just a small segment of our vision moving forward. There's lots of more information, and we really do appreciate your time today listening to us. We are walking, we are talking, knocking on doors, and if anyone has any particular questions on anything that we discussed today or anything else, please give us a call. My cell number is 845-849-4523.
Mine is 845-325-7707.
And mine is 914-261-7169.
So again, thank you very much. We appreciate your time and look forward to your support on March 21st. Thank you very much.